ಕಾಯಿ ಹಾಲು ತಾಯಿ ಹಾಲು ಸಮಾನ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದರೆ first thing that our civilization used to feed after the baby is weaning. The mother's milk is drying up. The next thing you want to give your milk, the baby is coconut. No one thinks of giving coconut milk to their babies. In fact, we have done that job for the last 15-20 years. I have been recommending coconut milk, and actually we did some unfortunate event. Mother died in an accident just after 15 days, the baby. I had a baby, 15 days baby, grandmother carrying and saying, what do? You are telling don't give milk. Cow's milk is not good because hormone medicine, just give coconut milk. And that girl is still there, 15 years old, not visited the doctor even once. So that's what I said. Nature is just bounty. And forget about India. You just go to Malaysia or Indonesia or all this. See, enough amount of. I mean, even today, just the number of coconut trees. Of course, we have done all damages. Lot of things are still. Whatever is left can give enough milk for the whole world, that babies, not billion babies, 2 billion babies. Because each coconut, just a small, medium-sized coconut, one coconut, half coconut, you can make half liter of milk. Doing nothing, just, it's falling. Just like your pine nuts, they're just falling. Actually, you will be buried if you want to collect once all the pine nuts. So much. And if you, California, so many pine trees are there. If you just go a little higher, you will have many more actually. So the whole world can be actually given pine nut milk. The whole world can be given coconut milk. And if you go to the North Karnataka and where the dry lands are there, within 4 or 5 rains, you will get so much Niger seed, so much sesame seed. You can just take 100 grams of this sesame seed, soak it in the night and grind it. You will get more than half liter milk. And calcium you are all worried about, or ortho. See, with all your calcium milk, and as if it is not enough, you have $1 billion industry of calcium supplements. And all the women and men who have so many problems with bones and things, you just have to eat this sesame seed once a week, 50 grams to 100 grams, not more than that. Please don't eat more. Enough calcium. And most absorbable calcium. You just eat laddu and walk for 10 minutes, everything comes into your body. So easy. That's what we have done. In fact, there was a woman, 60-year-old woman, on the bed for the last 10 years. Her body bent like this. All rheumatism, arthritis, cannot do this, cannot do that. All the time on the bed. Started eating once a week sesame seed laddu and of course brown top millet. I have not come to that glucose stuff. I keep getting distracted because so many things I want to tell you. And lo and behold, within 6 months, she started driving her scooter. Wonderful things. And you see, these are all the diseases that we have accrued because we have screwed up our food. We have screwed up our food. And no one tells it's because, now come to the glucose balance. Now we have to release the glucose slowly and steadily. But what are we doing in the name of sugar, in the name of wheat, in the name of rice? You are flooding your blood with glucose. So early morning you all do what? You are not shitting actually. You are drinking a cup of coffee first because it doesn't come out. So one drinks coffee, one drinks tea, one drinks another water, warm water, this water, that water. All this Ayurveda bills, oh, your body is, you have to clean it up. Take, push, and then edema, this, that, all kinds of circus is going on. And a lot of people are now actually, many people in India, they have to smoke a cigarette or BD or this and that and all kinds of angama. After all that, they again take a tablet. It doesn't come on. And after that also it doesn't come. That's because you don't have fiber lodged in your rectum to large intestine to prepare the shit properly. It's all stuck. Because what you are eating, the rice, wheat and the sugar. Sugar. Do you know how much sugar is produced on this planet? You have dried up your Florida, dried up California. Florida, biggest lakes, wetlands, out of whack. Because you are producing sugar, monoculture. They are just pumping all the lakes water. 28,000 liters of water is required to produce 1 kilo of sugar. In India, now seeing all these guys, this confectionery addiction of these Europeans and Westerners, translated, we building dams, and then every dam, underneath the dam, what are we doing? Grow sugar cane, wheat or rice. They are guzzlers of water. 8,000 liters of water, 1 kilo rice. 10,000 liters of wheat, 1 kilo wheat. 28,000 liters of water, 1 kilo sugar. And that's what we are doing, building big projects, dams after dams. A huge technology. Oh, wonderful, wow, great, big projects. And then the water, where are we doing water doing? Sugar cane. What is sugar cane? Sugar. Sugar is glucose plus fructose. So what it means, if you put in your mouth sugar, within 2 minutes, you pump your blood with glucose. Do we want to do that? Because this glucose, which is transformed into complex carbohydrates, and we have to have, because all our digestive system is hydrolysis, carbohydrate metabolism. So what do? The last thing that you produce is glucose. It has to be absorbed into the blood from the small intestine, and then you have to have glucose going into your blood, and that blood glucose slowly enters into different cells, and then you burn it to release carbon dioxide. While doing so, you trap the energy into ATP. That is the battery through which we do our energy. The biological energy is now, again, non-material domain is created by ATP. So you burn glucose, you synthesized from carbon dioxide, you produce carbon dioxide. So respiration, that is the oxygen going through your nose, through lungs, distributed to the blood through hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is there for a reason. It takes the oxygen and then goes and gives to the carbon, the glucose to be burnt, releases carbon dioxide. While doing so, the trapped energy of this glucose is now released into ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and wherever you need to move your fingers, to wink your eyes, to move around, to talk, to sleep, even to breathe, you need muscles to move, you need energy. For all that energy is supplied through this ATP. There is a mechanism called mitochondria which does this very efficiently. 1,000 times more efficient than your all airports put together. The mechanism is there in each and every cell called mitochondria. It's just awesome, actually, if you just learn how these things happen, step by step. Awesome. Just as, oh God, just a Vishwarupam చూడడం అంటే అంతే అదొక్క రియాక్షన్ చాలు ఆ బయోకెమికల్ ప్రాసెస్. Amazing. Even today, we have not completely understood the processes. So beautiful inside. So you get the energy and then we are all living actually. So it is the glucose that is trapped through carbon dioxide becoming, and that process in this wheat and rice happens from pyruvic acid to glucose. It's called C3 foods. I'm actually jamming lot of information. So it's called C3 foods. Whereas our millets called C4 foods, the process of building glucose begins with oxaloacetic acid. It's called C4 units, 1, 2, 3, 4. Where pyruv is 1, 2, 3. We have, as I have already explained, there are C4 foods, and the water required to produce each kilo of this grain, you know how much? It's 200 liters. Just 200 liters. That means if you give me 1 kilo of sugar, that is 28,000 liters of water, I can produce 28 into 5. 28 into 5. That's approximately 140 kilos of grain. And this grain, if you soak in the night and cook slowly in the morning in a mud pot, each kilo can be eaten by 10 people. That means 140 into 10. 1,400 people's food you are gobbling up with 1 kilo of sugar. And 10,000 liters means, accordingly, you have 5 kilos you can produce with 1,000 liters. So 10 means 10 into 5, 50 kilos. 50 kilos is 500 people's food. That means if you eat 1 kilo of wheat, that means how many people eat in 1 kilo of wheat? 5 people will finish. Whatever kulcha, chapati and all that, 5 people. 1 kilo of wheat can be enough, is enough for 5 people. That means 5 people is equivalent to 500 people's food. So 500 by 5 is equal to 100. That means one person's food is now equal to 100 people's food. So now, what is the world doing in the name of sustainable? I mean, enough food, you are eating wheat. And what should we be eating? 100 people's food you are taking away in form of one person. So the natural resources that we are consuming, just forget about all the health benefits of the millets, which I will talk to you in short time. Just on environmental aspect, just water is not going to be there, that everyone is aware now. There is no water coming into the future for us. So what do you want to be eating? So just for the sake of saving water, so people keep talking, close the tap, don't do this, don't do that. So if you just stop eating wheat, you have saved 1,000 times more. And the rice, almost same number. And you come to meat, that the whole world is busy eating. So much so that the world is killing all the animals in the ocean. There are no whales, there are no sharks left anymore. You are counting on fingertips. It's all for meat, and that's what your technology has done for you. Without technology, go and stand in front of a whale. You will disappear into nothingness. It just blows you away with its breath. It doesn't want to even intend any harm, you will be gone. But then with the technology that you have, all kinds of weapons, and you're just killing lakhs of animals. And that's all for, in the name of protein, in the name of being healthy, which is actually not true. I have explained to you very clearly how and why. So now if we decide to eat millets, the whole planet, and why it is whole human race food? Because these grains can be grown anywhere. They are both local as well as universal. All these 5 grains can be grown anywhere on the planet without any hangama. No water, no irrigation, no fertilizers, nothing is required. Just give me the water that you are using for Orissa. I can make the food for whole India. And then give me Madhya Pradesh and Orissa, I can feed China and India. And you give me Telangana along with it, I will feed the whole world. And that's sustainable, these wonderful grains are. So we have actually been working with thousands of farmers. We created a jungle out of barren land, and then the symbiotic, giving no requirement of whatsoever inputs, we can produce food for 100 people. All the things that you require, which we have done, demonstrated, we have produced just in the rainy season nearby Mysuru, called Bidrahalli, 7 acres of land. We have transformed 3.5 to 4 acres to a forest, and the forest sustains us, and we don't require anything else. Just 4 rains, we grow 32 different varieties of food materials that we consume. So 100 people can happily live, and that is what is called sustain. No inputs whatsoever, and this can go on for generation after generation, generation after generation, because our soil has been fertilizing itself for the last 10 years, and you just go and touch the soil. In fact, you want to lie down on that place. It's so beautiful smell. Wonderful smell. So we have transformed a barren, desert-like land into wonderful, fertilized, beautiful smelling. Kannadadalli kasturi anತಾರೆ. ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ವಾಸನೆ ಕಸ್ತೂರಿ. Actually, that is the real kasturi smell. ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಆ ಕಸ್ತೂರಿ ಸುವಾಸನೆ ನೀವು ಘ್ರಾಣಿಸಬೇಕು, ಬರಿಬೇಕು, ಬಂದು ನೋಡಬೇಕು. It's actually better than the real forest soil. That's how we have transformed. So we have been teaching thousands of farmers on a monthly basis. We conduct 2-day sessions, 3-day sessions as to how to produce these grains without harming the nature. In fact, we are actually furnishing, giving back to the nature. And in fact, right now, as we speak, just before I came, in our forest we have leopards, we have bears coming in, and we have lots of honeybees, fresh new honeybees. So people also, sir, can I take honey? Honey is good. Well, I didn't speak about sweet. I'll talk to you at the end. So these wonderful grains. So the fiber content, how it is built. When you harvest the grass, you allow the grain to dry along with the grass. Then the final coating of lignans gets onto the grain. So you dry the grain, dehusk, then you soak and eat the lignans, the ultimate PMF, that proton motive force, actually is a pool of electrons. Lignans is the precursor of wood. So that's how it maintains all the balance. Electronic waste that you create in your metabolism is all taken by the lignans. And that is what is actually the fiber of these wonderful grains, soluble and insoluble. The soluble fiber of different grains cleans up your different parts of the body. And that's how it imparts beautiful health for you. So now what do you need? For being healthy, you have to clean up your body on a daily basis. So it's not just good enough going around and eating glucose and producing energy, but that also produces toxic metabolic waste, and if you do not remove daily basis, you become sick. So even if you are eating millets, slow and steady regulation of glucose, despite that being so, if you do not clean your toxic waste that is produced on a daily basis, you are going to be sick. So lo and behold, what God does? It gives the lignans, extra things, nowhere else you get to clean up your body.